The grand concourse of the celestial spire shimmered with 1,000 different forms of life. Ambassadors, dignitaries, and functionaries from across the spiral arm moved in a carefully choreographed dance of diplomacy and power. At the heart of it all stood the visiting royal from the Violin hegemony, a species so advanced, so culturally intricate, that humanity's inclusion in their alliance was considered a fragile, nascent miracle. She was known as the Princess of Endless Waves, a title reflecting the Violin's deep connection to the harmonic energy fields they cultivated. Her skin held the shifting luminescence of a nebula, and her form, vaguely bipedal, seemed to be woven from captured starlight and shadow. Her emotions, when she chose to display them, were communicated through subtle changes in her bioluminescence and the soft, chime-like sounds that emanated from her. Dignity was her armor, and an inscrutable calm her constant companion. Humanity's representative was a materials engineer named Leo. He was not a diplomat by training, but his work on adaptive hull composites had caught the hegemony's attention. His role here was technical, to answer questions about shared projects. He felt utterly out of place amidst the grandeur. The event was a formal gift-giving ceremony. One by one, representatives from allied species presented offerings to the princess. There was a crystal that sang the history of a dead star, a living cloak woven from photon-eating moss, a containment sphere holding a stable fragment of a quantum fluctuation. Each gift was met with a graceful inclination of the princess's head, a polite, harmonious chiming, and then was whisked away by attendants. The gratitude was palpable, but formulaic. A part of the StatCraft script Leo watched, his hands growing clammy around the small, plain box in his pocket. He had been informed, quite tersely, by the human diplomatic corps that a gift from him was not required, and likely not expected. But a stubborn, human sense of courtesy had nagged at him. He could not come empty-handed. His gift, however, was not listed on any manifest dot. As the ceremony wound down, an unexpected lull fell. The princess's luminous gaze swept the room, and by some quirk of fate or curiosity, settled on Leo. A soft, questioning tone sounded from her. Her translator band rendered it as the human artisan. "Does your species not partake in this custom of exchange?" All eyes turned to Leo. A senior diplomat shot him a warning look. Leo cleared his throat, stepping forward. "We do, Your Grace. Forgive my hesitation. My offering is very simple." It did not seem worthy of the formal proceedings. The princess's light patterns swirled with mild interest. "Simplicity is a variable concept. I would see it." Feeling every bit the fool, Leo withdrew the small, unadorned wooden box from his pocket. A faint ripple of what might have been dismissive amusement moved through the non-human observers. Wood, in an age of metamaterials? Leo opened the box. Nestled inside on a bed of plain cotton was a perfect, clear glass marble. It was about 3 centimeters in diameter, flawlessly smooth. Within its center, suspended by some forgotten childhood alchemy, swirled a tiny galaxy of red, blue, and gold crystalline threads. "It is called a marble," Leo said, his voice steady. "A very old human toy. This one is made of silica, formed by hand and breath. The colors inside are just minerals. I made it myself when I was young. It has no functional purpose. It catches the light nicely." He held it out. For a long moment, the princess simply stared. Then, with a delicate, 2-fingered hand, she plucked the marble from the box. She raised it to the light of the spire's artificial sun. What happened next began subtly. The steady, wave-like pulsing of her inner light slowed, then stilled completely. The soft ambient chimes from her form ceased, leaving an unnatural silence around her. Her attendants shifted nervously. Then the marble in her grasp began to glow. not with reflected light, but with a gentle internal radiance. The princess's own luminescence returned in a sudden, breathtaking wave. But it was not the controlled, dignified display from before. It erupted in a cascading symphony of color-deep violettes, burning golds, sorrowful blues, joyful greens, swirling across her form in chaotic, beautiful patterns. A sound escaped her, not a chime, but a pure, wavering note that seemed to hold both an immense sorrow and a shocking joy. The sound was so profound several attendees flinched. The princess's slender frame began to tremble. She cradled the marble to the center of her chest, where her light was brightest. "A bubble?" her translator whispered, her own voice failing. "A captured bubble of stable atmosphere." Leo was frozen, confused. "Your Grace?" One of her senior attendants, its own lights flickering with alarm, stepped forward. "You must understand," the attendant's translator buzzed, addressing the room but looking at Leo with something akin to awe. "Our homeworld. Its beauty was in its atmospheric harmonics, its ever-shifting, luminous skies. It was why we were the people of the endless waves. We lost it. A stellar event, millennia ago, rendered our atmosphere inert, silent, and dark. We survive in enclaves, in ships, in artificial environments that mimic a fraction of the lost symphony. But the true, random, chaotic dance of light in a gaseous medium. It is a memory, a myth." The princess finally spoke again, her light still flowing in rapturous patterns reflected in the perfect sphere of glass. This object, it is not silica and minerals. It is a moment. The artisan formed it with breath, yes, a bubble of his own atmosphere, captured and cooled. The swirls within, they are not placed. They are the frozen eddies and currents of that single mortal breath. It holds a sky, a tiny, perfect, living sky from a living world. She looked at Leo, and her luminescence softened into something so profoundly grateful it was humbling. "You have given me a piece of a world that breathes. You have given me a sky that is not a memory, but a physical truth. A simple toy? It is a universe. A testament to a world where the air is free and the light dances within it by chance, not design." The grand hall was utterly silent. The previous gifts, for all their magnificence, were products of supreme technology, controlled and understood. They were echoes of power. This was an echo of life itself, something the Valen thought forever lost. The princess did not hand the marble to an attendant. She closed her fingers around it, carefully, possessively. "This," she chimed, her voice now strong and clear, "is the first gift of the day that has truly been a gift. It asked for nothing. It represented no technology we must analyze, no alliance to be negotiated. It was an offering of a moment of innocent creation, a piece of your human world." She turned to her entourage. "Note this. The human species does not just build and calculate. They capture fleeting beauty for no reason but the act itself. They carry the breath of their world within their art. This changes the calculus." The ceremony dissolved not into formal closure, but into a quiet, buzzing wonder. The princess remained, speaking softly with Leo, asking not about composites or engineering, but about trees, about wind, about how often human children made these captured bubbles of sky. Later, as the event concluded, the princess approached Leo one final time. Her luminescence was calm now, a gentle, steady aurora. "You called your gift simple," she chimed. "In my language, the word for simple shares a root with essential, with fundamental truth. You have given me a fundamental truth of your people, and returned one to mine. We had forgotten that some wonders need not be grand to be infinite." My reaction? You seem surprised by it. Leo nodded, still grappling with the magnitude of it all. "I just thought it was pretty. A beautiful, harmonious cascade of light, like laughter, flowed over her. It is, and in its pretty, pointless perfection, it is more valuable than any conscious masterpiece. You have reminded the Valen hegemony of what we lost, not through a dirge, but through a child's toy. That is a power no star singer or quantum weaver possesses. She departed then, the simple glass marble held securely within the nexus of her light, a tiny, frozen breath of earth sky cradled next to the heart of an alien princess. And as news of the event spread, humanity found it standing subtly, irrevocably altered. They were not just the newcomers, the strivers, the clever engineers. They were, as the Velen now called them, the sky breathers, the keepers of simple wonders. And Leo, the engineer, finally understood. He had not brought a piece of technology to the stars. He had brought a piece of home, and in doing so, had given a lonely people a piece of theirs back. The reaction was not to a marble, but to the echo of a living world, a gift whose value was measured not in complexity, but in the profound, heartbreaking beauty of a single captured breath.